It's time for the Splash Live from Civic Center TV, featuring stories from and about people like you in the greater West Bloomfield area. Simulcast on cable, 89.3 Lakes FM, social media, and the web. Now live from Green Media Center on Walnut Lake Road, it's the Splash Live.
Live, local, social, it's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm Tyler Keefe alongside Kevin McIntosh. Kevin, happy early week to you and the first day of spring.
Yeah, it's officially, even though we are in Michigan, Tyler, though, it doesn't necessarily reflect that outside, but I'm excited. New chapter, new beginning, step by step, day by day.
Yes, indeed. It is a time of change here in the greater West Bloomfield area and beyond. That's typical of spring, and of course, that is also the case in the city of Keagle Harbor, where last night there was a big school board meeting at West Bloomfield High School. It was an over 3-hour, almost 4-hour meeting, most of which was taken up by the issue of the future of Roosevelt School, abatement and ultimately demolition of the 104-year-old building that has stood on Cass Lake Road in Keagle Harbor for over a century. Was on the docket at last night's meeting. Before they got to the decision on contracts for abatement and demolition, public comment went on for several hours with people from Keagle Harbor and other communities pleading for either reconsideration of the demolition of Roosevelt or at the very least a delay of the demolition and abatement contracts. Many making comments from throughout our local communities, including Mayor Robert Kalman making a comment as well. Let's hear some of what was said.
You're going to make your decision tonight, but at least keep in the back of your mind ways to look at this differently. A win for the school board. And I realize this is a true concern. You have a concern about a charter school coming in. If 100 kids leave, you lose $1 million. That's not lost on me.
That was just one of the many comments made at last night's meeting. In addition, Roosevelt's demolition and abatement contract being awarded to environmental maintenance engineers for $93,000 for abatement and demolition to International Construction Incorporated for $465,000. Also discussed at last night's meeting, Jamie Stottlemyre, the Assistant Superintendent of Facilities and Operations, giving an overview. Here's just a little bit of the end of that overview, going over the total costs and some details from the demolition and abatement.
So the total of those two combined bids is $558,000. We did talk about there is a $50,000 allowance in the international construction bid that AUK put into that package for any unforeseen conditions, and that will be returned to the district if it is not spent.
As was said in there, as you may have seen on your screen on civiccentertv.com, the district had received 10 bids for demolition, 3 bids for abatement. They did take the low qualified bidder on each one of those. More information on this can be found on wbsd.org. Navigate to their About section under Board of Education, where you can find their agendas and their meetings. In addition, if you want to watch this meeting in full, see all the comments that were made, all the discussion on this issue, and ultimately more details on what was eventually voted in a 4-2 manner to award these contracts. You can find that meeting on demand as we speak on civiccentertv.com. And Kevin, we're not going to have a lot of back and forth on this or go into any sort of details. We're very much going to stay neutral on this because we understand it's a very important issue to the West Bloomfield School District. It's a very important issue to the community, and no matter where you stand, partnership is important. That was something that was emphasized from both the school board to the community and the community in Keagle Harbor to the school board. So we'll keep you updated in the community on this issue going forward, and of course you can follow along with more details on the timeline and the who, what, when, where, and how on WBSD.org. Kevin, as we mentioned, it is the first day of spring, and look, people are going to be doing their spring cleaning all throughout the community, maybe even some decorating as they try to beautify the yard and spend more time outside. Some local businesses are here to help as you're looking to redesign your home or maybe even the outdoors at your property to beautify it for the spring season. Reporter Jake Schaff has the story.
Spring is in the air, and I think I speak for everyone when I say it is time for some nicer weather and for all the flowers to start to come back into bloom. And businesses like Sage Green and Keagle Harbor are getting themselves ready for a very busy spring season. by offering fresh flowers, beautiful designs, and an incredible outlet for all of your springtime events.
Sage Green is a floral design studio and event space that focuses on fresh and modern floral design. We tend to keep everything in shop seasonal year-round, whether that's more muted looks or a bright and poppy look. We always do a seasonal take on everything. We're scaling back a bit on the boutique side of our shop and transitioning the space into a full-service floral design studio. So we'll be focusing more on taking pre-orders for larger events like weddings, showers, parties, but we'll still be keeping our own event space, doing floral design for those events as well.
This is our green room, and it's rented or rentable. And we are almost fully booked for the spring and summer. We book a lot of bridal showers, baby showers. We have had micro weddings, also birthday parties. Whatever event you come up with, we can host you.
Something we're focusing more on as well is our bouquet club subscription. So that still gives customers the option to pick up fresh flowers either weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly. With the subscription, you'll be receiving a higher value in flowers than what you actually pay for because of the discount that you get once you subscribe. And we will be opening an option soon for the subscription in vases as well, because in previous years we've just offered wrapped bouquets. So you can look out for that on our website too, to subscribe to vase arrangement orders also.
What do you hope people take away when they come to visit Sage Green?
Well, everyone definitely walks in feeling refreshed, always saying it smells so good in here, it's so light and airy, and we love that energy has been created in the space and transfers onto our customers. But we just want to spread the joy of flowers and the beauty it brings to the world.
As the snow continues to melt and the temperatures start to rise, take a quick stop by Sage Green to see just what they have to offer and to celebrate your springtime in style. For Civic Center TV, I'm Jake Schaff.
Many different methods you can take to beautify your yard, beautify your home, or just do some redesigning and rearranging. So good to know there's some helpful businesses throughout our community. Thank you for that report, Jake. It is, of course, spring season for sports as well at West Bloomfield High School. We're wrapping up the winter season here in the next week or so, and then it's on to all those other sports getting back outdoors. And it's an exciting time of the year at West Bloomfield High School as the Laker faithful continue to get back out and support their teams, and many of those teams having a mass of success in recent years, including our spring teams as well. Joining us to talk about spring sports and some exciting news in the winter sports realm as well is West Bloomfield High School Athletic Director Eric Pierce. Eric, thanks for joining us.
Hey, good morning, Tyler. Thanks for having me on as always.
Yeah, glad to have you with us. It's an exciting time of the year. Let's jump right in to spring sports because this is an interesting season, whereas winter sports and even fall sports tend to be a little bit more focused generally in certain areas of athletics. People that are interested in football will play football. If they're soccer players on the boys' side, they'll play soccer. In the winter, if you're a volleyball player, you're a volleyball player. A basketball player, you're a basketball player. But when you get into spring, you got sports that are still have that focus, but there's also a number of other sports that really help kids get ready for those other seasons too, while still being incredibly successful.
Yeah, for sure. You know, we have a lot of offerings as we always do with our spring sports season, and a lot of excitement here in Laker Nation for our spring sports teams. Our baseball team's coming off a really strong season last year. Got a lot of pitching this year under the direction of Coach Bernberg. We're looking for some wonderful, wonderful things from them this year. Our track and field team, you talk about preparing for other sports and also, taking care of business by themselves. Track and field is extremely strong here. We have excellent sprint relays and sprinters. And we did a lot of good at the state meet last year. Somebody like Cameron Tatum winning 2 all-state titles last year just by herself. So some great excitement there. Then you have your girls and boys lacrosse, your girls tennis. You have boys golf, softball. We're really excited for everything that's going on this spring.
Yeah, and there's a lot of eyes on that baseball team in particular. They had a wildly successful season in 2023. They had several of their players who ended up moving on to play high-level college baseball, including right now, one that comes to mind is Logan Pecor, who had initially committed to play at Central Michigan and is now playing at Michigan State and playing a pretty key role there as well. Talk about this baseball team and how it's developed in the last few years to turn from a team that was consistently pretty good into a team that's contending at the state level.
Yeah, and when it comes to baseball and being an old baseball guy myself, Coach Bernberg's done a really great job of focusing on the strengths of his team. Pitching and defense is where it's all at, and pitching and defense can keep you in a lot of games, and you find ways to score runs from there. But you look at the different pitchers that we have on the team, highlighted by like a Slade Moore, a Brody Pecor, a Miles Sorn. Those guys are doing great jobs in terms of keeping us in games. And then you have a bunch of other players that are out there. We have a lot of juniors and seniors on the team that are going to lead us to having another fantastic season.
Yeah, and all this can be found along with on westbloomfieldathletics.com. They have all the details on these teams as they head throughout their season and at all different levels as well, whether it's freshman, JV, or the varsity team, westbloomfieldathletics.com. In addition, right now, if you go to Twitter at LakerBballWB, you'll find a fundraiser that helps to support the baseball team during their season with a number of different efforts from training to travel and so much more. westbloomfieldathletics.com is the website for that. And Eric, we talk about these teams that have a lot of success often, like the baseball team, football team, basketball teams, even last season in spring, the girls' soccer team also having a lot of success. But there's so many different levels of success in West Bloomfield High School athletics and high school athletics altogether. As someone that's been a coach and is now an athletic director, now what do you see as being those keys to building these really great programs that you have at West Bloomfield High School?
Yeah, and for sure. And you mentioned girls soccer, which is fantastic as well. Another great spring sport that we have going on. But the biggest thing that we have, Tyler, is I think it's a culture. It's a culture of success, and it carries over from one sport to another. Our students, as I said before, they truly play for the school. It's not about themselves. They understand that they're part of Laker Nation, that they're part of something that's bigger than themselves. And when they see the success of other teams that we've had throughout the course of the year, they want to emulate that success with their team. And they've done a wonderful job of carrying on those traditions and building programs. You see excitement for all of our sports as we go through the seasons. And as an athletic director, it's truly rewarding to go out there and see that. It's an exciting time to be a member of West Bloomfield High School. It's an exciting time to play athletics here.
West Bloomfield High School Athletic Director Eric Pierce is with us on the Splash Live. More information can be found on all of West Bloomfield High School's athletics all throughout the year on westbloomfieldathletics.com. And Eric, you talk about the nature of these players, these student athletes at West Bloomfield High School, and that really goes back to building these programs and building an athletic program that supports these players to be inspired to play for their school. Take us through the journey of building that, because you've been a really big part of that, as have many of the longtime coaches at West Bloomfield High School. What did it take to build that culture, to have that inspiration from students to say, I'm not only playing for my own success and my team's success, but for the entire community here in West Bloomfield?
I think the biggest thing when you think about the traditions here and our success lately is just the buy-in of everybody. Our coaches, they're vested. I mean, they want what's best for their players. They want what's best for the school. They know that it's about representing the school, and it's about providing excellent opportunities and experiences for these student athletes. The student athletes then see what their coaches are doing and all the hard work they're putting in, and they embrace the grind. And they do things to help out in the community as well as to help out in terms of performance on the field. Just today, and it's funny we're talking about this today, but in about an hour here, we have a group of senior athletes that are going to Scotch Elementary School to be secret readers, mystery readers for the classes there. And those are the types of things that when I call student athletes down to my office and I ask them if they want to be a part of, it's automatically a yes and a smile, and I love it. And those are cool, rewarding experiences for me as an athletic director, because I'm not pulling anybody's teeth to try to get them to do these things. They want to do it because they understand the importance of community, and they realize how much support the community is giving them, and they want to give back.
And how much of that is coaching too? Because you had mentioned the work that coaches put in to maintaining that culture and to building these programs. As someone that's been a coach and understands what that grind is like, just how hard are these coaches working to maintain this level of success we have in our high school sports here?
Well, they're working extremely hard, and when we talk about our coaches, I always say this when it comes down to signing day. Coaching nowadays has become a 24/7, 365. You're available to your players, you're available to the families in your program at all times, and they truly are putting in the work. They're not just on the field coaches, but they're mentors off the field. They give advice, they talk to their student athletes, they follow them, they make sure they're on the right path. They do so much, and their buy-in is what makes this go. And the fact that they're working so hard and they're providing these positive experiences for our student athletes is what makes us have the success that we do. And I truly can't thank our coaching staffs enough for what they're doing every single day for our student athletes.
Yeah, having a big impact on these players. You go to these signing days, and often the first people outside of their families that they are thanking, and even sometimes before or in there with their teammates, are those coaches that are dedicating so much of their lives outside of their family, outside of their workday, in order to help these kids develop both in their sport, on and off the field or off the court. Eric Pierce is with us, athletic director at West Bloomfield High School. You can keep up to date with all of their spring sports and more at westbloomfieldathletics.com. And, of course, always you can follow the school district on Facebook at West Bloomfield Schools. Eric, it's playoff time, and we're in the big part of the playoffs for West Bloomfield High School girls basketball. They are playing in the quarterfinals tonight at U of D Mercy against Temperance Bedford. This is the big one for them because you win this game, you got a few days off, and you're going back to the Breslin Center, a place where we've had a lot of success in the last couple of years, but also a lot of heartbreak as well. Talk about this girls team and what has primed them to make potentially a third consecutive trip to the Breslin Center.
Well, I tell you, the first thing that I think about when I think of our girls team is they're seasoned veterans. They're like pros out there. They really are. And they embrace the grind. They embrace the challenges. They embrace being the team that's been ranked #1 in the state the whole year, and understanding that they were the hunted throughout the whole course of the season. And they've had a goal in mind right from the beginning of the season, and that's to get back to the Breslin and to win another state title for West Bloomfield High School. And I love the way this team plays. They're so exciting to watch. Just the fundamentals that they have, the effort that they give out there every single day. It's been a pleasure to watch them throughout the years, and it's one of those things where I feel like sometimes people don't realize how great a team is when they're watching them in the moment, but then they look back and they see and they're like, holy cow, that team was special. And that's truly what this team is. They're extremely special. And I hope that everybody enjoys what this team has brought to West Bloomfield High School and how much they have done to represent our school in a positive light. And tonight's going to be a big test. It's going to be a real tough test against a very tough Temperance Bedford team that's played some big opponents and beat some big opponents. And I tell you what, though, I'll tell you one thing: our girls are going to be prepared, and they're going to come out there and they're going to give the best effort they have, and hopefully we'll be seeing everybody in the Breslin Center on Friday.
Yeah, whether they have been in a narrow lead as had happened at times earlier on in the playoffs against teams like Detroit Renaissance, or they've had blowout victories like had happened in the regional finals against Royal Oak, they're always playing at a high level and with a high intensity. The game is never won for them until that final buzzer, and that hard work, that determination, and ultimately that success can be highlighted, as you said, in these veteran players. And some big news out of West Bloomfield late last week: Summer Davis from the West Bloomfield High School girls varsity basketball team, a senior, has won the Gatorade Player of the Year for the state of Michigan. This is a second consecutive Laker and a second consecutive Davis twin to be named Gatorade Player of the Year. Talk about Summer and her success this year.
Well, it's just an absolutely well-deserved honor for Summer Davis. And she's one of the people that has consistently put up numbers for us and kept us in the limelight throughout the seasons that she's been here. And to see her sister win it last year and then to win it this year, I mean, they both very deserving of the award. And I think that Summer came out this year, saying, "Hey, this is something that I can do as well." And gosh, she's just such a pure scorer. And then you see the effort that she has on defense with the amount of steals that she has and the defensive intensity. These girls do it. They do it in the classroom and they do it on the court as well. And she's a leader. There's no doubt about it. And when it comes down to an award like the Gatorade Player of the Year for the state of Michigan, I'm glad that the state of Michigan has recognized that our girls, with India and Summer both winning it, are putting up the numbers that they put up a lot of times in a half or 3 quarters and not being able to play that fourth quarter because we have been so successful and we get our other players in when a game does get lopsided. So they do a great job, and I'm so proud and so happy for Summer that she was recognized with this award.
Recognized as the Gatorade Player of the Year. Her sister India last year was the Gatorade Player of the Year. In 2024, averaging through this point in the season, 18.5 points per game, 4 steals, 4 assists, and nearly 4 rebounds for the Lakers in what's currently been a 1-loss season. Hopefully will continue to be just a 1-loss season the rest of the way. The Lakers win tonight at against Temperance Bedford at U of D Mercy. They will be playing Friday afternoon at the Breslin Center in the semifinal. Potentially, Eric, really interesting story there. A head-on collision rematch with Rockford in that semifinal. There's so much history there. I love this story, and I love the potential of this rematch once again because 2 years ago, they beat Rockford in the semifinals. They go to the finals. They win. Last year, they have a rematch with Rockford in the finals. It's a back-and-forth game. It is a true grudge match. They just come up with a loss in the end of that. I mean, this is a great rivalry we got developing here.
Oh, it is. It truly is. And Rockford's an extremely well-coached team as well. And they do a lot of wonderful things, and they've dominated the west side of the state for the last couple of years. And we've had some great games with them the last couple of years. I know this is one that our girls have kind of looked ahead since the beginning of the year and said, when can we possibly match up with Rockford? And, we've got Temperance Bedford tonight, and hopefully we take care of business. And I assume that our girls are going to go out there and like we said, they're going to give max effort and hopefully we get a shot at Rockford on Friday. And I can tell you one thing again, our girls will be excited. Our girls will be extremely fired up for that game. To all of our fans out there, especially the ones that are coming tonight to Callahan Hall for the Temperance Bedford game. Coach McAllister has said, please show up, wear your camo, because it's going to show support for our girls basketball team. Our coaches are all going to be in camo as well. And this is going to be our theme for the rest of the year because we're going to go do it and we're going to take care of business.
Yeah, Coach McAllister describing to us that camo comes from they were the Hunters, then they became the Hunted last season. They're the Hunters once again this season. And so that camo indicates we're going hunting as Laker Nation and hopefully getting a championship back to West Bloomfield. Eric, before we let you go, anything else that we should know about spring sports coming up or any other updates for the community from your athletic department?
Oh, always. It's one of those things where although the weather is taking a nice little twist on us right now, it teased us a little bit with having wonderful weather for our tryout season. We do have games starting right away. Baseball is playing tomorrow, believe it or not, for their first game of the year. And I encourage everybody, just like Tyler's been saying, just like you've been saying, to go to westbloomfieldathletics.com, check out our spring schedule. Come on out and support the Laker Athletics, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be a great spring sports season and a number of opportunities for people to come out and see the excellence that we have in our athletic program and some of the extremely talented student athletes.
More information can be found on all of West Bloomfield High School's spring sports and sports all throughout the year on westbloomfieldathletics.com, and you can always follow along with everything happening in the school district on wbsd.org. Eric, thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, Tyler. Always appreciate it.
Glad to have you on. Tip-off tonight at Detroit Mercy for West Bloomfield versus Temperance Bedford in the girls' Division I quarterfinal begins at 7 o'clock. Should the Lakers win there, they would play on Friday afternoon at the Breslin Center in the state semifinals, and then their game would be midday on Saturday, should they make it back for the third consecutive trip to the MHSAA Division I Championship. Live, local, social, it's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Plenty more to get to. We'll take a short break and get back to more news and information from throughout our 4 communities. Stay with us.
We'll be right back with The Splash Live. The stage is set at West Bloomfield Public Library with Talkin' Broadway. Catch showcase performances each month, like West Side Story on March 24th. For more details, go to wbliv.org.
I use public transportation almost every day.
We take public transportation here to the senior center to volunteer.
When you say, I don't need a bus, I have a car, what about your neighbor? What about your family member? What about your mother, your grandmother? How are they getting to medical appointments? Who's helping them?
For more information, go to oakgov.com/Oakland Transit.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
What people are watching in Kego Harbor. Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. And now, back to The Splash, live.
Live, local, social, it's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm Tyler Kieft alongside Kevin McIntosh. And Kevin, this time of the year, we get into the spring season. Everybody's looking for something fun to do. They want to get outside and they want to get into nature. The best place to go to do that is with our friends over at West Bloomfield Parks.
I know, right? As the weather starts to break here in Michigan, we need reason to get outside and enjoy this sun and soak it all up. And one organization locally that's helping us do that, West Bloomfield Park, is now enrolling kids for their Nature at Night drop-off program. And joining us to talk a little bit more about it, we have West Bloomfield Park's Caitlin Stocker from their naturalist team joining us to talk about it. How are you, Caitlin?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me. So a little bit about our Nature at Night program. It is a drop-off program for the youth. So it's a great opportunity for parents to have a nice date night and for the kids to have fun having pizza, s'mores, hikes, and learning about some of the critters out at night.
Yeah, I love how you just jumped. Go ahead,
yeah.
Please.
Oh, I was just going to say this will be on March 26th from 6:30 to 9:30. So this is typically during spring break time. So if you're at home, it's a perfect opportunity.
I love how you just jumped straight into it and just said, hey, this is a perfect opportunity for the parents to have a date night or something like that, because that would be the perfect opportunity to take advantage of it. But like you said, this is actually March 26th. It's a Tuesday, 6:30, 9:30, and it's a drop-off program. Parents will bring their kids to drop them off. Now, like you said, they'll be enjoying pizza, walking through and checking out some of the nocturnal animals. Talk about some of these animals that they see and the experience that they have with those animals.
Yeah, so there will actually be live animal opportunities right in our nature room. So we'll get to meet the gray tree frog, toads, and some turtles. So tree frogs and other frogs are often awake at night. That's why we're hearing those lovely sounds of calls at night right now. Maybe not the last 2 nights with all the snow, but we have been hearing more out there in nature.
Nice. And this is a drop-off program, like we said, ultimately, so parents are to come, ultimately drop their children off. And with that, we are all about safety, with that being said. So there is something that parents have to do in order to ensure the safety of their children, there's a waiver or something that they also have to sign. Can you just talk about that process, please?
Yes, so we do have a waiver. Typically, over the summer, it would be online, but due to the nature of the drop-off program and it being in the winter/spring, I'll have it physically right there when you drop off your kid.
Got you. Perfect.
And you can also
perfect.
let me know of any allergies prior to, which is right on the registration process. So we will be well aware.
Absolutely. Thank you for putting that up there, because that is another important aspect of the situation. Any allergies that the kids may have, whether it's with the food or just outside in nature. Joining us right now, West Bloomfield Park's Caitlin Stocker from the Naturalist team over at West Bloomfield Park, talking about the Nature at Night drop-off program that's happening March 26th, 6:30 to 9:30 at the Recreation Activities Center. So can you just talk about the other things that are going on there? I see there's also a hike. Talk about the hike. Where is it? How long is it? What are some things that they usually see on this hike also?
Yeah, so our hike is about 1 mile hike on the Civic Center trails. So if you're local, maybe you're familiar with these trails, but we get to see nesting spots or typical nesting spots for owls. We get to go over some little pond areas, wetlands, to talk about some of the wildlife that we're seeing there, reptiles and amphibians. And we're going to get to talk about all the turtles that usually visit our recreation activity center.
Nice. This is a great experience for kids, being able to get out, be with their friends. This is a chance for the kids to get away from their parents too. Let's be honest. Sometimes they need a break also. So I'm not mad
Absolutely.
at it. But let's clarify some things also. Caitlin, can I drop my 2-year-old son off to you all and sign a waiver? What are the age restrictions there?
Yeah, so the age restrictions are 6 to 12. There is some wiggle room. Sometimes we will accept 5-year-olds and 13-year-olds. Just depending, you can give me a call at 248-451-1908 if you have any of those kinds of questions. But other than that, you can register at wbparks.org or you can call us at 248-451-1900.
Absolutely. Thank you. And then flying, are there any other qualifications? Are there any costs associated with this? How should parents kind of prepare their kids in advance to be able to register and enroll for this program?
Yeah, so if you're a resident of West Bloomfield, the price will be $30. And if you are a non-resident of West Bloomfield, it'll be $35. So for 3 hours and just having some fun with the kiddos.
Absolutely. Seems perfect. Seems great. March 26th. Hopefully the weather starts to break a little bit better so that, it's not freezing cold out there, but you still encourage the kids to also dress for the weather and also bring a reusable water bottle. Any other things that they should bring and should note and be aware of?
Just bring themselves, and I'm looking forward to having a fun time.
Absolutely. Any last words or any additional programs, activities that West Bloomfield Parks has coming up for the spring or summer months you want to tell us about?
Yeah, so summer registration for our camps opens April 22nd. There will be a discount if you register before June 1st, so definitely jump on that. Our camp guide is actually already out, so start checking everything out. Earth Day is April 18th for us at West Bloomfield Parks. That's when we're celebrating. So check out our website. Thank you so much for your time today.
Absolutely. Thank you again. Caitlin Stocker from West Bloomfield Parks Naturalist team joining us talking about the Nature at Night drop-off program Tuesday, March 26th, 6:30 to 9:30 at the Recreation Activity Center. Thank you again, Caitlin.
Thank you.
Great opportunity for local kids in the West Bloomfield area to get out, get with their kids. And like I said, Tyler, sometimes the kids need a break from their own parents too. So I get it.
And this is a great way for them to get that break and also get some educational
Mm-hmm.
opportunities, get outside in nature, learn about how the spring season, how those changes that occur from winter into spring affect nature in greater West Bloomfield. What does it look like outside, and why does it look that way outside now versus late in the winter? How does wildlife get affected by by the change of the season. And then also you had a chance, you're under the lights, you're outside, you're having a good time. And so that gives so many great opportunities for kids to do some active learning themselves, see kind of what they're learning, maybe even in their school classes. And West Bloomfield Park's always taking care of business to take care of education, Kevin. And combining business and education, something that's been going very well at West Bloomfield High School of lately with their DECA program.
Yes, the DECA program, something I've heard of when I was in high school also, but West Bloomfield High School's DECA program recently brought home some hardware at the statewide conference here in Michigan. And joining us now to talk about those awards and the accomplishments, we currently have West Bloomfield High School DECA coordinator, Julie Zala, joining us on the program to talk about it. How are you, Julie?
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So let me tell you a little bit of what I know about DECA. We had a DECA store in my high school. I was never a part of it. I used to just walk past. I know I used to go in there and buy cookies. Can you just tell us what is DECA and what's going on at West Bloomfield High School with DECA?
Sure. So DECA is an association of marketing students that compete in scholarships and prizes, and it's in the area of marketing, hospitality, finance, and management. So anybody who has an interest in any of those areas can join one of those organizations at most of the high schools in the area. There is, I believe, 3,500 high schools around the United States involved, and it helps them to prepare for leadership. It helps them to prepare for a career, and really it gives them an opportunity to meet with local businesses at a district, state, and even an international level to network and to learn more about the business world. And many of the lucky ones will go on. For this year, we have 20 students going on to the International Conference in Anaheim, California. And thank you. We just finished our state conference. We had 67 awards from our students. Yeah, so we're very, very excited, and they did a fantastic job. We're really lucky at West Bloomfield that it's one of the biggest clubs at our high school, and it's the 51st year of having it here at the high school. It's a long-standing tradition. We have been going on for a long, long time.
Nice. See, I love things like that, giving them the skills and the knowledge and teaching them about things that very, very useful in the real world, the adult world, marketing, finance, hospitality, management. I'm seeing it all behind you right now. And just for my sake and for our audience sake, DECA stands for Distributive Education Clubs of America, something that I just learned today, by the way. So
yeah, it used to be, that's kind of like the old one. It's kind of just an association of marketing students because we're actually now outside of the US. So they have it in Guam and China and all over the place. So it's still DECA, but they kind of just say it's an association of marketing students because we are outside of the US. There's 220,000 students involved in DECA around the world.
Sheesh. So I guess they should change the A from America to all around the world.
Exactly. Yeah, international.
But like you said, 67 awards, 20 ICDC qualifiers, 37 state conference qualifiers, 10 role play and test medals. Could you talk about what these awards mean to you all, what they mean in general, and how do you feel like the work that the organization put together actually got to these awards and recognition?
I'm so proud of them. It's really not something that's an overnight where they all of a sudden they win. It's something that they've been working on since we started school in August. Some of the students compete in a 10 or 20 page paper where they research and they do work with local businesses. So everything from, we have a former student who now has a business and he's allowed our students to work with them. Stadium in Maine, Extra Point Solutions, Naples Pizza. All of these businesses are out there and they work directly with our students to come up with different solutions for their businesses, and they present them not only to the business itself, but also then at a state level or international level. So it takes a lot of research, practice, presenting. Some of them do role plays where they will act out a given situation that might happen on the job in front of a local business person, and that local business person decides who handled that situation the best for them to move on. And then we are really lucky we have something called a virtual business simulation, which is an online game. So for those kids who love games, but also want to learn at the same time, So we have something, we compete in sports and accounting and different virtual business simulations. And we're fortunate to have 3 of our students who qualify to represent the whole central region of the United States at the international conference because they did so well with that in that online competition.
This is great. I love how this is contributing to the future of our entrepreneurs, our business owners, specifically locally though, here in the West Bloomfield area. I love that this is available. Right now we are joined by Julie Zala, West Bloomfield High School DECA coordinator, talking about some of the awards and recognitions that they recently received at the statewide conference, Michigan DECA State Conference, I should say specifically. Now the next stop, like you said, Anaheim, California in April for the national conference. What is expected here? How are you all preparing for this? And what are your goals coming out of that?
So our goal is always to get as many students as possible to qualify the international conference. That's really what a lot of them love to do. So this year we go to California, next year we go to Florida. And the exciting part is there's actually 20,000 students from all around the world that go there at the same time. So they get to meet students from everywhere. From, some people will meet students from China, Japan, all over the place. They get to interact, see how they do business, possibly different from them. And then they also get to kind of explore a city. And then they get some of the best business leaders to come in and not only speak to the students about future careers, but also they'll have colleges that come in and they talk to them about their business programs, if they're interested in scholarships for them. And there's also prizes for money for college as well that they can earn. And sometimes they even get a job out of it or a future career, where we've had students that were hired right from high school. They paid for their 4-year degree and then they had a job right when they graduated.
Oh, that is so nice. That's what you want right there. You want to set yourself up to have a career or have a future right after high school, whether your plans are, going to the military, going to college, or starting a career immediately afterwards. That's great. Julie, for someone like myself, let's say I'm in high school, I'm hearing this interview, I'm interested. I've always wanted to do business. I don't even know where to start to become part of DECA at West Bloomfield High School. How should I get started?
You can go to the school website, or you can go to our website, which is www.westbloomfielddeca.com, and they'll learn more about it. But obviously, contacting our school, and if you're outside of our school, contact your local high school to see if they have a program. A lot of them in this area do as well.
Great information. And before we go, how has the support from the community affected how the students are achieving these goals or their productivity? And what can the community do to support going forward now that we are expecting to go to the internationals?
We love our local businesses have been incredible. Everybody that comes out and they work with our children, whether it's they hire them and then they actually do something with DECA, or they are part of where they allow us to do some research on them and give suggestions, or they just meet with them and talk about possibilities for the future. Not everybody's going to go to college. We have some students that are going to leave high school and they may start their career at that point, or a community college. So having that experience working with people in the industry and making those connections is so important for whatever field they want to go into, whether it's medicine, law, or any of those. There's always something related to DECA that they can get something from that.
Perfect. Thank you again so much, Julie. Anything else, any important information, words that you want to give out to the community?
Absolutely. Just thank you for all of your support of our program. Please continue to support us. Reach out to us if you have one of our students to, or a couple of our students to research your business. We always love to work with the local businesses and help support you as well. Thank you.
No. Thank you. Julie Zala, West Bloomfield High School DECA coordinator, talking about some of the awards that their DECA team has won at the statewide conference. Thank you again for your time.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Yes, absolutely. I'm going to tell you myself, man, as someone, like I said before, in high school, I used to walk past the DECA store and see the students there. I would always wonder, what is going on in there? How can I be a part of that? But I knew that they were doing business type things. But to get awarded and acknowledged for some of the things that you've done in that program has to be a great thing, Tyler.
It's a great feeling.
Yeah,
it's a great feeling.
They do
Absolutely.
amazing work there, Kevin. I know it's tough to not walk into West Bloomfield High School with our team when we produce their school board meetings over their monthly. And as we're walking up to the iCenter, see an entire window filled with awards from the DECA program. And that's spanning over the years. It's been a sustained success there. And these kids work really, really hard to keep that program in the line that's been in and keep it as successful as it has been all of these years. So congratulations to them on their statewide awards, and good luck to them as they head to Anaheim very shortly for those national awards as well. It is Severe Weather Awareness Week here in the state of Michigan and including here in Oakland County. And joining us to talk about how you can get yourself best prepared for the severe weather season is the Public Information Officer from Oakland County Emergency Management, Kevin Sadich. Kevin, thank you for being with us today.
And we really appreciate your support.
Yeah, and we appreciate your support as well at helping the community stay informed on severe weather this time of the year, because it is such a harsh change, especially the way that our weather patterns have modified in recent years. That change from the bitter cold and snowy winters to some often very warm, even this time of the year, springs and summers. And that can bring about a lot of different changes in our weather patterns, especially when storms come through. And with that, Kevin, so many different hazards. This time of the year, what are the most common hazards that Oakland County in particular really wants to make sure that the public is aware of?
Oakland County Emergency Management is a part of Oakland County government. We provide logistical support in emergencies as well as communications coordination. We provide a lot of training for first responders here in the county. And one of those things is we administer the 276 warning sirens here in Michigan. So with this new, we have the emergency preparations that we're doing now as we get ready for severe weather season. Severe Weather Awareness Week will allow us to do that. So what we have going on tomorrow is the only midweek siren test of the year. So throughout the year, we test the first Saturdays of the month, March through November. Tomorrow, we do it for Severe Weather Awareness Week. And the reason we do it midweek is kids are still in school, so they have a chance to practice their procedures there. And it's an opportunity for people to talk with their family members, their loved ones, how they're going to react in an emergency. Are they going to implement the plans that we recommend, going into the basement, seeking shelter? What's their communication plan if something happens? Do they know cell phone numbers by heart? Do they know how to contact each other in other ways? So it's a part of a conversation that we recommend folks start having.
Kevin Sadich is with us from Oakland County Emergency Management on the Splash Live today. Severe Weather Awareness Week, plenty of information on helping yourself and others in your life be prepared for severe weather this season and beyond. You can find more information, Facebook at oakgov.em for even more helpful information and tips. And Kevin, this test is important for our communities, for our schools and our kids also, but it's an important time of the year as we have a test on Wednesday this week, and as we recognize Severe Weather Awareness Week, that people understand what they need to do in their homes or in their place of work in the case of severe weather. How important is that end of the campaign to not just making people aware that severe weather season's upon us, but make them aware of things they need to know so that when we get those warnings, we understand what to do right away?
So you're right on. Preparation is the key to this. Knowing ahead of time what you're going to do is extremely important. You're not going to just figure it out when an emergency happens. So knowing ahead of time what you're going to do. So we want to make sure people understand what sirens mean. So we issue the siren warnings when we have a National Weather Service watch in place for tornadoes or severe winds, sustained winds of 70 miles an hour or greater. And that means when you hear that siren, you should seek shelter. You should tune into the radio For more information, don't call 911, don't call the police or fire, seek shelter and look for more information that will follow. There's a lot of preparation that can go into this. We have recommendations for having people create a go kit. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a go kit, it could be a stay kit. What kind of non-perishable food do you have in the house? Do you have potable water, about a gallon a day per person per day? Canned foods, dried foods that you can keep for 3 days in case the power goes out. You're having a basic first aid kit, having some extra medicine on hand, over-the-counter medicines, all things that will help you sustain yourself when you can't get to the store or you can't cook your fresh foods.
Kevin Sage is with us, Public Information Officer with Oakland County Emergency Management. More information can be found throughout Severe Weather Awareness Week and beyond on oakgov.em on Facebook, facebook.com/oakgov.em, or go to the Oakland County website at oakgov.com. Kevin, you mentioned earlier on that part of what you and the team at Oakland County Emergency Management does when severe weather comes in is be that line of communication throughout the county for our local communities and our residents. So take us through a little bit of that timeline and the work that's being done behind the scenes when we're anticipating severe weather and it's time to start getting that information out. How do those lines of communication get established, and what are some of those first steps that your team's taking?
So we maintain a very close relationship with the National Weather Service. So even before weather gets within 10 miles even of the Oakland County border, we're looking at what's happening in West Michigan, 2 counties out, to anticipate what's happening. If we see severe weather systems rolling in, we are getting our on-call personnel ready to come in to prepare in case something happens. We also have our amateur radio public service corps personnel or volunteers that come in and monitor radios. That's a second line of defense in case our normal communications go out. So we have them in place. They have folks out in the field that are skywarn spotters. These people are trained by the National Weather Service to report severe weather that comes in. So they're another set of eyes out in the field that can help confirm what the National Weather Service is showing on its satellites and its other information. And if severe weather does come in, our on-call specialists, we have specialists that are on call 24/7, 365. They'll come in, and if they need to, they will open a line with the National Weather Service to ensure that the weather systems that they see moving in are actually happening. So when we meet that criteria to worst case scenario, have the weather sirens go off, then we could do that. There's a procedure that we have for actually turning on the sirens. We actually have a key that we have to unlock the system, and then there's a set of criteria that we go through to put that on. And then if we have a confirmed weather event, if it's a National Weather Service issues a tornado or severe thunderstorm warning with sustained winds of 70 miles or greater, then we would issue that siren.
More information can be found on Oakland County Emergency Management's Facebook page, oakgov.em. Kevin Sadich is with us from Oakland County Emergency Management as we recognize Severe Weather Awareness Week across the state of Michigan and beyond. Kevin, we talked a lot about the during a storm event, even a little bit about the before, but unfortunately these storms, the reality is a lot of what goes on with them happens after the fact, whether it's strong winds, large hail, certainly with tornadoes or severe thunderstorms and the impact that they can have on our communities. After these storms have passed, these weather events have passed and the damage has been done, how does Oakland County Emergency Management navigate the post-storm times?
That's a great question. In an emergency, if we've had a weather event or any other type of emergency, the recovery phase is always the longest phase. It's picking up the pieces, issuing if there's a disaster, that has to be declared by the governor or the president. We walk our communities through that process. The basic understanding is if a community is overwhelmed, if it's going beyond its resources, they will contact us and we will assist them with logistical support and communications to walk them through the process of getting the help that they need. We have seen here, even in Oakland County, we had severe weather that came through late August last year. President Biden declared an emergency for the area so that federal disaster funds could reach the citizens here, the folks that live and work here. And there was a disaster resource center opened in South Lyon. In fact, it's open in South Lyon until March 23rd. More information on our OakGov website. But it just shows you that 6, 7, 8 months down the line, the assistance can still be there. In fact, sometimes it does take a long time to have a disaster declared. One of the things that we do with our preparation is we spend a lot of time on getting folks prepared for emergencies. And after that, we are there to provide assistance on how folks can access the help that they need. So, for example, on our webpage, we have a current emergencies page if there's an emergency that's happening. And we have all the information, resources, links for folks to access that disaster relief from those late summer storms last year. So it just goes to show you that sometimes these things take a long time to resolve themselves.
More information can be found on oakgov.com. Just simply navigate to oakgov.com. That is the Oakland County website. Under their community tab, you'll find emergency management and find even more information and helpful resources from our friends at Oakland County. Kevin, before we let you go, anything else that the people in our community should be aware of in terms of severe weather as we recognize Severe Weather Awareness Week?
So folks that want to get involved, there are some trainings that are coming up. Working with the National Weather Service, we have 2 Skywarn spotter training courses in March and one in March in Novi, and then one April 16th in Waterford. More information on our website. You can find it right there on our Skywarn spotter page. But for folks that want to get involved in, these aren't storm chasers, but folks that want to learn how to recognize severe weather signs and report those to the National Weather Service, there's an opportunity for folks to get involved there. There's also the CERT program, the Certified Emergency Response Teams. A lot of the communities in Oakland County have this volunteer service available for folks that want to get involved in certain aspects of volunteer disaster relief and response. I encourage folks that want to get involved to check out our website. We're increasing more training. We want to expand that program here in Oakland County, and we're looking for folks that want to become involved in that. And the last thing that I want to just mention is for folks, we have these emergency sirens and we have alerts, but for other events that we have our Oak Alert system. And this is for other events for like, if there's a hazmat incident, if there's a missing person, if you want to stay informed about what's going on, I encourage your folks to text Oak Alert to 99411. They can get signed up on our Oak Alert emergency alert system, and this will keep them involved in what's going on, how they could avoid a road closure, they could avoid a hazmat incident. So 99411, text that Oak Alert to that number, and there's more information on our website about Oak Alert as well.
More information can be found facebook.com/oakgov.em or go to their website at oakgov.com under community and select emergency management for more info. Kevin, thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. Have a good day.
You as well. Severe Weather Awareness Week throughout our community. Important to keep up to date on that information as you get ready for the severe weather season here in the greater West Bloomfield area. We're not unfamiliar to severe weather and even some quite severe weather such as tornadoes. We often play on this channel a documentary we made many years ago about the tornado that happened here in West Bloomfield in 1976. It's always something that's a possibility for any community, so make sure you're keeping up to date, and Oakland County Emergency Management is a great resource. Kevin, just a little bit left in the program today, and as we enter the first day of spring, it's an exciting day for those in Keego Harbor. Their Dairy Queen is open, a place that so many love to frequent this time of the year, and today, first day of spring, free cone day over there.
Oh, free cone day, Tyler. Yes, I love Dairy Queen. I'll say this on record again. Caramel cheesequake blizzard. Anybody just pick it up, bring it to me, please. I love it. Oh, it's my favorite. Oh.
Yeah, the Keego Harbor Dairy Queen open from 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. today. A staple of that community. They love that. It's an exciting day when that opens each and every year. We'll have plenty more important updates like that all throughout the week on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Stick with us on the Splash Live. Thank you for tuning in. For our entire team at Civic Center TV, I'm Tyler Kieft.